God here, and it's time to talk about Blue Lock. Now, honestly, this episode I think was very hard for Isagi, the pressure he's feeling, especially after the loss, and just the complex he's having about being weaker, less skilled than everybody around him. I feel it was very amplified in this episode, even more, not just thanks to his enemies, the players has faced and he is facing also in this episode, but also his teammates, especially Nagi. We see him. I feel like Nagi is probably the main character we never had in Blue Lock from what I'm seeing here so far, but also what they are lacking and what the second selection is showing here, the main purpose of it, and it feels like a build up for things to come. So it got very interesting, especially towards the end. So let's get into it and talk about it. Now we see them in the losers room. What happens after they lost against the top players, and Isagi feels very frustrated and down, especially comparing himself to Nagi. He thinks he hasn't done anything, like he still views himself much weaker than everybody else, even his own teammates, and he says he has no weapon to fight without team play. Both of them actually, Nagi and Isagi. And Isagi kind of gets more and more frustrated, even losing hope a bit. Nagi, my bad, Isagi. And Nagi was honestly the wake-up call he needed. I really like how Nagi handled that situation. This way, I'm kind of starting to like Nagi a lot more than Isagi. Honestly, the way he grabbed him by the hair and get your shit together. Basically just pulling him up like a rag doll. Stop being so negative. And they got a bit into it, and even telling him you can't do anything without Bachira. But Isagi also struck back, saying same applies to you without Rio. And they realize they really can't do anything without team play, and the point of this selection being individual skills. That's what is being tested over here. So part of the reason why they lost against the top players was because they tried the team play angle, but the top players just focused on their individual skills, weapons, and that's why they were honestly dominated in what happened in the match, and that's why they lost Bachira also. Now, what I liked from Nagi, I feel like Nagi was the center of this episode in a way, much to the frustration of a character, and we're gonna get to that. Even asked Isagi, how do you get rid of this frustration after losing something? And the simple answer from Isagi, just winning. And that's very true. You have to win. And they're on their last leg, so to say, here, because if they lose, they're out. So they definitely have to win the next match. But things got even more interesting because one of my favorite characters in the series makes an appearance, Barrow. And honestly, just seeing him, the presence he has, just walking into that room, and I wasn't expecting to see him here in the losers room, and the way he got into it with Nagi and Barrow, I feel like Nagi can just knows the right buttons to press against Barrow, calling each other amateur. I'm gonna make you my servant over there. That felt so good, seeing those egos clashing quite a lot. But that wasn't how should I put, the main focus of the episode. We have the geniuses, the raw talent we have in Nagi and Barrow clashing over here, seeing how they improve, how they got better, which is kind of expected. You have these monsters on the field, but at the same time we have Isagi, his own issues, complexes that have been amplified in this episode, and also thanks to one character, Naruhaya, showing up. And this is where it's revealed that Barrow, Naruhaya, and the other teammates lost, and Barrow just scored 4 goals alone, but they still lost. And we're gonna get what I mean by the complex that Isagi is having and why Naruhaya is so important. Now they go back to rest a bit. Nagi made an interesting comment that the room looks like a jail. Yeah, that's pretty true. They start training a bit. Isagi is still trying to deal with the issues they have there, realizing their weapons only work with passes, which both applies to Nagi and his control. can't really control the ball. He doesn't get any passes. Isagi can't use his direct shot without somebody passing to him. But Nagi just decides to take some rest, go to sleep, and leave the problems for tomorrow, which is a very healthy mentality. Rest is also very important. I feel like Isagi can learn quite a lot more from Nagi, not just skills, how to handle problems also. But they have to deal with their selection of opponents. They can choose somebody too weak. Even if they win, it's kind of useless. They're gonna get a weak opponent. They're gonna lose again after that. But they also can't pick somebody too strong because they're gonna be out. So that's gonna be very interesting. But the choice is kind of made for them thanks to Naruhaya, who comes to talk a bit with Isagi, like, hey, let's take some risks, saying we're in the same boat. We won't get picked. You have Nagi, I have Baro on my team, both being monsters, and even tells him directly, flat out, we want Nagi, we don't want you, Isagi, so let's crush each other. Kind of provokes him a bit, gets under his skin, which I feel was very much needed there. And I'm starting to like Naruhaya also a bit, especially towards the end of the episode. We're gonna talk about that. But slowly they finally decide on the match, and we have Nagi and Isagi training against each other 1v1. It doesn't really work. They don't have the skills to go against the trying to compare to Baro, but Isagi doesn't have the same presence or stuff like that. Nagi can't really practice properly against Isagi, and vice versa for Isagi trying to train with Nagi. And this is where we see on the other side also that Baro kind of treats Naruhaya like shit, disposable, the same way as Rin treated his his teammates. But at least his teammates had the skills there. So we finally have the match starting, and I really like Nagi and Baro bickering each other, getting into it even from the beginning of the match. And on the other side, we have kind of geniuses and average people fighting, and the way they put average Joes in the words of Naruhaya. Now we have Nagi 1v1 Baro, which was very easy for Baro to even score there. His range also increased, so he also got better thanks to the training, everything. Everybody is in improving. Now, slowly, this is why I think Nagi is just a raw talent. Found a way to even beat Baro, to at least stand against him with his own first touch, controlling the rhythm of the ball, controlling it from behind, having the opponents chase him, and he actually wins a duel against Baro. But Baro being Baro doesn't pass, just the pure ego he has. He gets the ball and just scores instantly. So it was back and forth between Baro and Nagi. It felt like Isagi and Naruhaya weren't even on the field for the beginning of the match there. Just Nagi and Baro, that was the duel. There wasn't a 2v2, just a 1v1, and they were just bystanders. They're not really being able to do anything. And even Baro got a bit frustrated at that. He tried the midfield shot. He almost scored there, same as Rin, but he got blocked by the goalkeeper. And he gets a pass again. They score. Like I said, back and forth there. Now Naruhaya and Baro thought they can win very easily, and here you have them realizing can't fight alone. Slowly, but Naruhaya at the same time does something very fitting to Blue Lock. He refuses to pass to Baro. He gets that ego streak that everybody got at some point, so he kind of got past that blockage he had on himself, also feeling down the same way as Isagi, but it got even more pressure on Isagi because he thought, hey, I can't even beat Naruhaya here. Of course, you have the monsters, Baro and Nagi being special cases, but I feel like they put Isagi a bit way too much down in this episode. I hope he's on a realization the same way that Nagi had his, gathering his own individual skills for duel and things like that is gonna be worth it. All he has faced in this episode, being way down, putting himself down even more and more, I hope he's not gonna be stuck into this rut that he's right now with this episode. But like I said, I really liked Naruhaya actually standing up to Barrow, refusing to pass back, trying to score for himself. This is something that Isagi is also gonna have to do at some point if they want to advance, because this is all about individual skills. Team play got them this far, of course some individual skills also, but this is where individual skill is the important part. And really excited for next episode. I'm curious what Isagi is gonna do, how he's gonna handle this, how he is gonna be able to fight 1v1s here, and they can definitely feel Bachira missing right now. But I think he's probably gonna incorporate his own direct shot in some way to win 1v1 duels, but it's gonna be interesting for next week. Now I'm really curious what you guys thought about this episode where you had the monsters and the average players. We are kind of splitting a bit the perspectives we had in this episode, so let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about this episode and which one do you like more, Nagi or Barrow. I think it's really hard for me to choose. I kind of like the ego side of Barrow a lot more than Nagi side, but Nagi has this more I don't know, not pressure side, kind of more instinct way, even he calling himself god of the field, and you have the king of the field with Barrow. I really liked the duel and the dynamics between them, but I hope Isagi's awakening, so to say, is gonna be worth it next episode. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Blue Lock. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye bye.